Hey, it's been a while. It's been such a long time since I've done this. I felt cool to do this. I figured, 8-8, why not? As you can tell, I'm in my comfort zone. So yeah, let's let's just get into it. It's funny, I'm feeling so awkward about doing this again. When I used to do this very religiously. I don't even know why I stopped. But we are so back. I have some notes. That's how back we are. Imagine. Um, I must say it's been just as a pre thing, it's been very difficult to offer on the spot channelings and even do readings for the kind of energy that seems to be around us and the way that everything is shifting, the way that earth is awakening, the way that our lives and each of our conscious awarenesses, the way that's awakening, I really continue to feel like these kind of things are not necessary. But I do ground myself in something I repeat often, which is that I'm doing justice for the past version of myself that would have really appreciated hearing the things that I have to say in the ways that I have to say it. In general, not just from me, but I just think I feel into the version of myself that I was and that I'm moving into, and it continues to be just at least a servitude to the past version of myself, if not servitude to anyone whom this helps. And I am so grateful for everybody who does reach out and tell me how helpful my content has been for them. It means so much to me. I'm sure you can imagine how these kinds of things can start to feel a little bit dragging and purposeless and like and confusing. I've had my moments where I felt ashamed, embarrassed, tired, and just over this whole thing. But every time I'm here and every time I look at the cards and every time I tap into the vibe and every time I remember how exciting these times are and how generally hard it is to kind of stop anybody and be like, dude, do you feel the vibe? I need this. There's so many reasons why I need this. So thank you. Thank you for watching, for subscribing, for commenting, for being alive and sharing time and space with me. Please only watch and tune into my work if it resonates. Please only do that for everything that you take in on social media. Please be super strict. I hope you hear me banging the table about the way that you use the internet and technology moving forward. These aren't part of my notes. This is coming out before me. It's starting to feel scary to me, at least. Let me find a better word. Not scary. I think overwhelming is a better one. It feels like a big wave coming at us that has things in it and that isn't just made of water, it's made of other stuff. That is what technology, AI, and even consciousness, reality, that's what it all feels like right now. There is, it is, what can I say? There's really no room. It cannot happen anymore that you be distracted. Attention on your awareness in every moment. What happens when you look at something in your body? What do you feel? What do you feel called to do? How does your body react? What sensations are you feeling? Considering those things is, in my opinion, what can keep you going forward. I think that is what charges our life force at this point. Also, something that seems to be coming before me, which is making sense as I'm delivering it, as I'm processing it now. The essence of our life and our life force, and like even our physical health, this is going to sound crazy, oh my God. It's going to be a lot more dependent on our awareness and where we place our attention than other things. Like, it used to be that reality, the external reality, you, sorry, I got distracted for a second. It used to be that the external reality was so big and heavy and effective to us that it would be able to change our makeup. Now, I'm feeling that because of the upgrades that we're getting right now, and because of how times are changing, our perceptions are changing, our attention is changing, our ability to hold information is changing, the information we take in, all of it, it's all changing. Our internal world is growing bigger influence on us. I hope I put this right. Our external world used to have a huge influence on us. All of these changes are influencing our internal world to grow stronger and now take more control, which is what was supposed to be happening the whole time. We were always supposed to be in full, aware, conscious control of our physical bodies at the very least. Yeah, at the very least. Fine, it's hard to navigate, like trying to manifest. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that everything's running smoothly. It can be difficult to try to manifest and bring things in externally. That takes a lot more science, but that I think we're going to start mastering very, very soon. It's already happening for a lot of people who have been doing the work. We're manifesting very, very, very quickly. Guys, just because I'm still tripping about this. I wrote inside a journal, bumping everything the way. I'm so excited about this. I can't believe it happened. I wrote details, okay? I don't want to show this too far because it gets a bit, it's a bit personal, but I'm just saying I want to show you the physical proof that I did this. I wrote on a piece of paper, trying to manifest a specific kind of person in my life with with specific astrological components for my own personal reasons. The point is, though, that I did it the night before. The next day, I met someone, asked their details, and they gave me every single one. One of the details I wrote was, I specifically wrote that they must have a specific sign in their North Node. And they did. They had everything else, and they had that thing. I'm freaked out. I'm still freaked out by that. I'm still freaked out by that. I'm still processing that. But anyway, the point is that manifestation is happening very fast. And that, do you see that moment? Freaking out, my face? Yeah. That is what I think. So we've been leading up to understanding that a lot of our dreams coming true, a lot of the reason why our dreams haven't come true yet is because they're too big for us to process. Because if they happened, yeah, just like that, you saw that moment. If it actually happened, our blessings come in our abundance, we'd be like, oh, what? That happened so fast. Like, what? We've been done a favor. God has been doing us a favor in that time delay, but that time delay is going to shrink to a size that will make it, as I said before, very mandatory that you pay attention to your attention. Let me start reading the notes now. I put in capitals that I feel the theme that's coming with this 8-8 portal, which, by the way, I'd also like to disclaim, I'm sort of writing away from the content part of it. I know that via the, what can I say? In the general spiritual community, the 8-8 portal is revered as, yes, of course, magical, powerful, whatever. But generally, I like to deliver this content and my experience from a human level. We have all these divine ideas and they're possible, we experience it, but we're also still human. Some shit's still going down. We're still seeing oppression. Palestine is still, even me saying that, I might get shadow banned. Like, we're still living in that reality. And I don't want to I find it scary to behave as if that's, or rather, let me say, when I hear people say, um, only focus on the light, because when you feed into the shadow, then it grows more, da 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 da. That, I get it, but it's very scary to say that and encourage that. And because for me, too much of that gets rid of the humanness and the human opportunity we have right now to feel for each other, which is what is the point. That feeling opportunity, I've put here that we have big, big emotions. There are lots of things that we're going to be feeling, very, very complex. I wrote very, very complex, typed very, very complex situations that will require you to remember love consistently, remember compassion. That's how we bring in more of it. Don't block out the shadow and only focus on the love and light and compassion. See the shadow, take everything in, and then transmute that with compassion. That's the point. Life, I believe, is so predestined that there really is no need to work any harder than a base equilibrium that should feel calming for you. It should feel like very, like a very calm hum. This thing we do of, oh my gosh, I need to make sure there's do I have enough money to pay rent? I'm in a budget, 5-year plan, da, da, da. It creates a in our energy field. I don't know how else to describe this. It has us constantly going all the time. We don't need to be doing that. We should be, and it feels like a lot of really fire, dynamic, quick, heavy, griefful situations could happen upon us for the opportunity to, like I said, take that energy and make a hum out of it. That's what I'm saying. I don't think the hum involves only focusing on the light and being so, no, it's okay, love and light, that you, nah. I don't think doing that works. I don't think ignoring the shadow works. I don't think, I'm worried about us as a community. I've mentioned this before. We're dealing with very sensitive, very central, perceptive, energetic things. And because of that, we are at great risk of having mental breakdowns and things like psychosis, shit like that. I mentioned before, we're all seeing it, feeling it. It's going to get very, very crazy. People's behaviors, their reasonings. And I also want to put it out there that I'm not out of that. I'm not out of that compartment. We're all going to be going insane. So I will need this from the audience. I think we'll all need this from each other. Pure and authentic honesty. I posted about this. I don't mind people critiquing my work. I don't mind rebuttal. Like I said, I need that feedback. I think that is one of the ways in which we will be able to ground ourselves in reality. Receiving feedback from our relationships. I also put that here, that the mirroring aspect in relationships is going to be so, it's going to be so big and important that we can most likely assume, if you're tuning into my content, we're, I believe, allowed to assume that what we are seeing is something that is being reflected within us. Please be very careful about doing this if you are in a relationship or connection where you feel you're being abused or drained or anything like that heavily, But I think that there's going to be more of those situations where we'll be challenged with that perception of, oh, I feel, for example, like I'm being drained or abused in this relationship. And we'll be able to take that, absorb it in, and ask, how are, again, please be careful about doing this. Please be careful about doing this. But to be able to take that in and say, what are the ways in which I am, just like this relationship, abusing or draining my own self? Thin line, because there are a lot of things that we think are aligned, there are a lot of things that we are doing that we think is good for us or aligned for us, but is not. That is also going to change. I feel a lot of 180s are going to be happening. I think that's part of the dynamic. No, yeah, 180. That's part of the dynamicism. Lots of minds are going to be changed. And that is going to cause friction and tension in connections. Again, compassion. If you find that, and these are the kind of things that can also happen. You are so in love with someone, you're in a grounded, you perceive yourself to be in a beautifully grounded, healthy, long-term relationship. Suddenly this person turns and tells you that they're not attracted to you anymore. Compassion. There are ways. There are ways around that. There's also that. As I mentioned with the title, boundaries are starting to thin. The idea of duality is becoming null. There is this new kind of singularity taking place that I think is so much greater than what has been written about, because we are going to embody it now. Like we're going to actually live in divine singularity and put it forth. We're going to embody it. We're going to externalize it. That externalized is going to grow bigger, more embodied. This is how we make New Earth. It takes a lot of work, a lot of awareness work. I think a lot of people are going to be mistaken in this time forward to think that they have to actually toil, do more exertion, more external force. But I believe that everything is going to start taking place now, like for real, from the inside out. So, as I've loved to repeat in my previous readings, I really believe that if you, instead of doing all of these toiling labor things that you think you have to do to secure your future or whatever the heck, that if you sat and meditated and just sat and breathed until the next moment happens, life could continue to lead you to your destiny. It sounds... So, for example, practically, you decide to be unemployed and instead spend all of your days meditating, and that's all you do day in, day out. Then one day in your meditation, you hear a random knock at the door of someone offering an opportunity to da-da-da-da, or you receive a da-da-da-da, you receive a text, because now we have technology. So these kind of opportunities can access us a lot quicker. We don't have to wait for a pigeon. We can wait for a DM or an email. We can wait for a post to inspire us to decide to do something too. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be every time you feel that. Every time I feel that, at least, when I feel like I'm huffing, puffing, stressing, doing too much, I sit down, like physically sit down, and I just zone out. And then the feeling dissipates. Is that the word? Or something will happen to lead me into the next moment that will very naturally be able to calm my anxieties. That's how we're going to have to deal with these things, really a lot less dependence on the external world. And again, I'm not trying to down the external resources that we have. I'm not trying to come down on them. They're useful. They're amazing. We've come this far. It's just we need to go further. And we're not going to go further relying on these things that we do codependently in the way that we have. Something that I'm also reflecting personally on is sobriety. How more of that is going to start happening. And I don't think a lot of people know what they're doing when they go into their sobriety journey. But I believe it is that call from above, from within, from beyond, getting us to come back home. You know what I mean? So if you have that call and you want to do that, then go ahead and do it. And don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah. Other points I have here are, I mentioned grief, career loss, sudden switch ups in where you thought you were going. Yes, remain open. I already mentioned that too. And then intergalactic communication, which is actually what I sometimes feel I'm offering in these readings, which is uncomfortable. For me, I'm still trying to process and understand that. I want to bring up how strange I find it that there are intergalactic beings seeking to talk to us, communicate with us, bring work forward, or I don't know. It's difficult for me to hold against the way I understand being a child of the earth. Putting those two things together might be something that a lot of us will have to do. I think a lot of ancestral work will come up, and I think that is for the sake of correcting all the bullshit, the oppression, stuff like that. So listen out for that energetically. If you get it, you get it. And then I would also be very, I want to use the word weary, but what I mean is slow and pensive about the possibility of receiving intergalactic communication. Again, I'm rawly processing that. I actually, realistically, I still can't believe that that's something that is happening. But as I'm delivering this now, it feels really like that's going to happen. And that can happen. The issue is also that when we think about intergalactic communication and even like aliens, intergalactic in general, we think about what we've been fed. But what's actually happening and what can actually happen, what's actually possible is it's beyond anything that we can fetch from what we've been given. I'd recommend that if you're open to that, doing it without prior research. Do it openly is what I'm saying. Like the research might taint the way you experience it. You might expect certain information or certain ways for the information to come in when this information could come in through emotion, through a feeling, through a sudden spike in something you feel in your heart. Or it could come through body heats, body waves, chills. It could come through this is where it starts to cross over to maybe you might need to see a doctor, and that's you using your discernment. But it could come through reactions, bodily reactions, skin reactions. So if you do, again, seek this. And this is not it's not just intergalactic, it's also ancestral. All of that is going to start coming online. We can't, that's in my opinion how we are going to be saved, so to speak. We can't do it by ourselves, human consciousness, ego. I don't think we're going to make it. We need their help. We need their help. So as they try to come in to help us, I feel called to mention that you should be aware about those things, the reactions, you might open communication today, say that you want to start receiving communication from your ancestors, and then for the rest of the week you find that you're sick. That can be the communication. You have to be open. You will receive that understanding with those things. So you're not just going to like get sick or get a reaction or get a wave. It's going to happen alongside something else, either a thought you have or something that happens externally, maybe even something you're taking in via social media or something you hear from someone, And that's what I'm saying. You have to pay very close attention to everything that's happening. But the best way to do that doesn't take a rah-rah tightness. It takes you just breathing and like letting go and allowing your body, your eyes, your sensation, let yourself be led. I find myself in situations where I'm trying to look for something and I stand in the room and I say, I'm looking for this thing. And it's as if my eyes lead me to look to where the thing is. That kind of thing can happen in life in general too. Where if you find yourself wanting to know what your next moves are, where should you apply for work? What should you do today? Let your body, your heart, your eyes, everything, let it lead you. Let the sounds lead you. pay attention. Pay attention. And do everything you can to pay attention and get rid of everything that does not let you pay attention. That's why a lot of people are quitting smoking weed. They quit drinking. They're cutting down on their screen time because that shit takes away your attention for real. For real. I went so over everywhere. I feel like I've delivered. I don't think I've ever yapped for 25 minutes. I'm even tired. I feel like I have nothing else. I feel called to emphasize the technology bit, the AI bit. The fact that we really have to learn how to separate ourselves and our individuality and our tastes and just everything. We need to learn how to separate ourselves from the tech. It's like it's really becoming like a drug, and we can't let the drug do us. And that's it. Yeah, that just felt most important to me. I'm going to shuffle straight from the intuitive tarot now to see what else I can deliver. That did not feel cohesive. It did not feel like I gave one thing. It felt like I was all over the place. I really hope that this was helpful in any way. And I actually would recommend, I think I'll just put this in the description, to instead of like sitting through every single thing that I've had to say for the past almost half an hour, just find a random point. And I suggest doing this with all readings. Like, this is what I do when I'm just feeling a little bit down and I need a little bit of a charge up, you know? I'll pick a random reader that I enjoy, pick a random video, and then just randomly select a point in the video and trust that whatever the reader or channeler has to give in that moment is what I need to hear. I'll just take it in, you know? So that might be helpful too. But I also deliver things on a run. Like, I don't have pauses, so whatever, man. I think I can also just, like, this doesn't have to be too long. I feel like I don't know what I'd have to add or what the cards would have to say. Of course. Are you kidding? Yeah, I have to pull two more. I can't just. Sure. The King of Discs has been showing up so often. King of Discs, King of Pentacles. I think it even showed up in the last reading that I did. But I don't remember whether that was on Patreon or not. Yeah. Capricorns. Sure. The Devil. Capricorns, I think that you guys are the star of the show right now. I'm not sure why. I think it's the fact that Capricorns are their ability to hold their balance between their earth experience and their spiritual experience. That's where their groundedness comes from. That's how they're so powerful. They're incredible. To my knowledge, the Devil is also a Capricornian symbol, but I'm not entirely sure of that. However, what I can gather through all of these is an extension of what I spoke about regarding how life will happen in the way that it will happen in order for you to face that of living experience and turn it into a calm hum. And you do it yourself. You have that hand on your coin. You know, it's you. The King of Discs, he has built something. He's got this 10 of Pentacles vibe to him. Long term, he sits, he focuses, he goes, he keeps going. The focus, I think, is also what's important here. Let me read the King of Pentacles, and I'll engage on the more of the details that Silla Conway wrote about the King of Pentacles character. So we have keywords in the descriptive paragraph, not just the interpretation, that say the material king. That's the title. Yes. So I feel like that's what we are learning to master right now, being the king of each of our material realities. We have keywords being strong, practical, patriarchal, and I think that word patriarch can settle for, it's not gender specific. Think of the energy of a patriarch. You know what I mean? The groundedness, the protectiveness. the constant focus on self-assurance, self-confidence. But this can be a little bit tiring if you hold it out for too long. I don't know. We'll see. Yes, this actually, so now that I'm reading more about, I'm seeing words like successful businessman, wealthy, all material things. It's bringing me to the point that I typed about the material career living pivots that we are all going to be going through, where we're going to be changing our minds about things. As I'd mentioned, someone in a long-term relationship, just changing their minds and deciding that they don't want to be part of it, or someone who has told themselves that they're only going to be in serious relationships after a certain point in their lives, realizing that they actually want the relationship now. But that realization, the decision, it takes a confident, this is my life, this is mine, and I can do what I want with it, you know? Let me read the devil as well. That feels useful. And the tower, I think, would only be useful to mention for the sake of illumination. Like I said, dynamicism, moments and periods of chaos, but mostly an illumination, an opportunity to really start over. And it's very Phoenix. It's very Scorpio, actually. Anyway, I'll read the interpretation of the devil. Skewed attitudes and perceptions, expediency, lack of integrity, justification and denial, major shadow issues, perversion, greed, envy, deceit that need to be owned, not denied. Old entrenched patterns, especially those involving anger, fear, or sexuality. Enslavement to material things. That's funny. Enslavement to material things, along with the King of Discs, I think is a message to source back your power. This is the part of the story that we all have been through in one way or another, the hero's journey. Although I don't know if this is particularly, if it's described this way in the hero's journey, but the part where everything is stripped from you. And, yes, rock bottom. I made a tweet about rock bottom, talking about how it's a place of sensationlessness and darkness. You're suspended in a nothingness that's very uncomfortable because there's literally nothing. But then you realize as time goes that you're in a very, very soft place. You're in a place that's very slow and calm. And yeah, because of how big the chaos is, whatever happens after that is obviously going to be very calm. What I'm saying is you're going to be given space to look at the thing, to really look at it. And this is a gift. It's a gift. So yeah, beware of that. Enslavement to material things feels very important because we're all of us, we're all going to have to start looking at the ways that God takes things away from us so that we can dream bigger, do bigger, or realize that we never needed the thing. Or realize how deep our dependency was on the thing. We needed it to go. And the sentence, major shadow issues that need to be owned, not denied, also feels very, very important. I feel called to mention, hey, House of 44. Yeah, it's a massive, massive theme. Taking back your attention, your sovereignty. That's how we take it back. Everybody's talking about sovereignty. That's all you have to do to take back your sovereignty, is take back your attention and stop being so distracted. And be intentional. I was talking about shadow issues that need to be owned. I think that's another thing that Capricorn placements are very good at doing. They're very good at owning their shit. They know their imperfections, they're aware of their flaws, and they accept themselves very well for it. Largely because they also understand that other people are flawed too. We all have this in us. We all have to face this. Yeah. Beneath that, we have the King of Swords and Strength. 8-8 portal, man. So this is the other thing that I'm also really, really feeling into here is like the glamorization of 8-8 and the energy of it. It is divine. It's beautiful. But I don't know if, like, I feel like all the words that we have, all the things that we have to say about 8-8, and the way it's just so decorated on social media really underestimates, invalidates the way that this will show up, the way that the ascension and the energetic transformation will show up in our lives as actual experiences. A lot of the time, this stuff shows up as shadows, nonsense, grug, depression, resentment, deep, deep anger. Lots of days of just sitting at home, doing nothing, and not feeling like it. Not feeling like doing anything. And not even knowing why, you know? Lots of feelings of being in the abyss, in the void. It's scary. And I want to tap into that, realize that, not out of fear, more out of a, you can do this. You can do anything. And don't think that things are going to be like, it's not about things being easy. Yeah. That's another thing that I really hate that I still have to learn. I hate it so much, but we have to stop wanting things to be easy because that's not how we grow. And our ideas of ease are also things that are encapsulated in systems that just are not, they're so outdated. So we have to stop holding on to these ideas we have of, I don't know, whatever ideas we have of whatever. We need to let go of it and be willing to get dirty and grimy with all of life. Because in my opinion, that's how you start to really enjoy it as a human being. Not just as like this light energy, divine consciousness, which we are. We are also humans with our nonsense and our stinky smells and our offensive thoughts and our weird little, accept it all. I have to watch this reading back. I'm not entirely sure what I delivered, but I do feel amazing after delivering it. And I hope that some of this that I was talking about transfers to you too. The understanding that it's always there. You don't need to take in any content or do anything more than just be to get that hum. It is you, it's who you are entirely, that not just the light and the love and the shadows too, the bullshit, everything. I hope we can all come to accept ourselves more wholly and each other. Because I think there's a lot of love potential in that as well. Like we have the potential to love each other so deeply if we could just be more accepting of the dark in general, not just in ourselves, in all of life. That was a separate channeling. I don't even know if what I just said had anything to do with what I said before, but thank you. Thank you for watching. Hi, Ms. I'm actually about to finish. It started 38 minutes ago. I'm about to finish. I do miss these. I'll definitely be doing more of them and figure out how to plan like a tarot and chill. I miss those so much. I love pulling cards for people. Love getting into the tea. Love receiving the messages that I get from the readings. Like every single reading I do, even my paid clients, everything. It's always so helpful for me. It's always for me too. So I'm excited to get into that again, but in my own time. And I think we should all keep moving in our own time. It's a lot. There's a lot going on right now. Even if in your life nothing is happening, there's a lot going on right now. We should be very patient with each other. Thank you for watching and for tuning in. Thank you for everyone in the chats who's always commenting. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for everything forever. I'll see you in the next live, which I don't know when it will be. but